Hey everyone, welcome to the Spiritual Sanctuary podcast. I'm Bettina, and today's episode is really personal for me. I'm finally announcing something that has been growing in my heart and in my mind for years. Rose Temple Yoga School is officially opening its doors in January of 2027. I'm going to welcome the first students into the Rose Temple 200-hour inclusive yoga teacher training. This program is going to be offered in person at Cosmic Connections in Nashville with a hybrid Zoom option for those who can't attend the sessions in person. But before I tell you about the program, I want to tell you why it exists. This is more than an announcement about a new yoga school. It's the story of how something that once caused me pain eventually became part of my purpose. I didn't begin practicing yoga as a young, thin, flexible woman, and I never could pose and move into complicated asanas. I came to yoga in my 40s while living with a lot of health concerns and navigating a plus size body. It didn't fit into the image that most people had about yoga. I wasn't trying to become a fitness model. I was just trying to find a practice that would help me reconnect with myself, build confidence. And yoga gave me a place to breathe. It helped me listen to my body instead of constantly fighting it. Now, I will tell you, there were moments in the studio where I broke down crying. I would have anxiety attacks. My mind felt overwhelmed. And sometimes I would experience myself more as a diagnosis and put limitations on myself. I didn't have confidence at all. I questioned myself. I questioned other people as to if I should be doing this or not. And as my relationship with yoga deepened, I began to feel called to teach. And I wanted to teach because I wanted to learn more about myself. I didn't start out to teach other people. And when I expressed my desire to enter yoga teacher training by the person who I had went to for years for yoga classes, I was told I was too sick to do it. Um, and that really hurt. Whenever you think about going through yoga teacher training, you meet with the teacher and you discuss the program and the options, just like if you're interested, you would do with me. We talk about what your goals are, how I teach, and if they match. And this teacher, this studio owner, confirmed a fear that many of us carry, that our bodies will prevent us from answering the call of what we want to do. So I went home, I cried, and then I began Googling people. I had already found a studio in Nashville that taught it online, totally online. And I thought, okay, this is a way that I can do it without being embarrassed. So I called Mary Irby at White Crow Yoga, and it was over the summertime. I was teaching college and I was off for the summer. And she was like, I have an online teaching program. And she explained to me the benefits and the things that would hold me back. And then she said, well, we could do it hybrid. You can come down when you can in between teaching, and then you can do a lot of the work and the reading and the material online. I really felt comfortable with her because she promised me that what I would learn would not just to be a yoga teacher, but to learn what yoga truly is. That it had been distorted in Western society as being basically a gym activity. It wasn't the spiritual path that it used to be. It wasn't really getting to know who you are and living it every single day. So I was like, yes, that's what I want to do. I want to find peace within myself. So she's like, okay, we'll have you come down over the summer, and it will be intensive. It was like 8, 10 hours a day. So I drove from Bowling Green to Nashville for an hour and a half and then back up again after those days. And it was, if I recall, 20, 21 days straight in a row. And I cried constantly. I was in there with people that were healthier, younger, all the things, but she taught me what's called modifications. She taught me how to feel in my body what my body needed, where my body was, how to move into the position that would help me open up my breathing, open up my confidence, really connect to myself. And I learned really something important at that time, that my body was never the reason I could not become a yoga teacher. The problem was the narrow definition of what a yoga teacher was supposed to look like. The doubt that I continued to question beforehand. Should I do this? I would ask people, should I do this? Do you think I should? Because I didn't have the confidence, because I wanted to force myself to look and teach and be just like everyone else that I saw. But that's the thing. I didn't force my body into someone else's image of yoga. I became the teacher I once needed. So pre-COVID, I opened up my house and I had people in every little section of my kitchen, my hallway, the front room. We had yoga mats down the hallway, and I taught yoga and I taught modifications and I taught some in the aspects of my lineage, which is their mular. Um, in my lineage, it's very much of, there are, you can say, pictures of different poses, of sequences on the wall, and each person begins where their body is, and the teacher goes around and helps adjust. That's what I want to create. A class where it's not one person mimicking everyone, because everyone's body is not the same. I want to create a class and to create teachers who can look at a person and say, okay, you may not see yourself represented in traditional yoga spaces, but you're here. And you may need a chair, you may need a wall, you need a bolster, a blanket, additional time, but that's okay. And that's what we're here for. And that's what Rose Temple Yoga is. The school is created for the people who are a beginner, who worries that everyone else will know more. It's for the older adult who wonders whether it's too late to begin. It's for the person living with chronic illnesses, who may need to rest one day and then practice differently the next. It's for the woman who watched yoga videos but felt discouraged because her body didn't move in the way that the instructors did. So I want to make it more inclusive, compassionate, and accessible. My lineage is not built around physical perfection, and neither is my school. It's built around presence. It's built around listening to your body, building intuition, building wisdom, making things accessible for everyone. It's a spiritual depth. We are Ashtanga yoga, which is the 9 limbs, the 8 limbs. Woo, the 8 limbs. And we study all of the ideas and the spiritual aspects of who we are. And we respect our body. We respect the world. You don't have to perform advanced poses, but you're welcome to. You don't have to prove that you're flexible, and you don't have to become a different person. One of my intentions for the school is to help not just students, but everyone remember that yoga is not a physical workout. The postures matter, but they're only part of a much larger tradition. We're going to study yoga philosophy and history. We're going to look at ethics, anatomy, lots of anatomy, breath work, meditation, sequencing, and teaching. We're going to explore the 8 limbs of yoga and the yamas and niyamas, and we're going to discuss how yoga can shape the way we live, relate to others, and care for ourselves. I'm going to be teaching people how to do gentle yoga, chair yoga, restorative, yin, somatic, and yoga nidra. We're going to explore ways to make poses and practices more accessible through props and supportive language. We are definitely going to talk about consent and trauma awareness and professional ethics and creating classes where students are invited to listen to their bodies rather than to ignore them or to push them. I know during one of the practices when I was going through yoga teacher training, I became extremely competitive and I tried to force my shoulder through thread the needle and I dislocated my shoulder, which has left a permanent pain, dislocation, injury. And so now that reminds me each time to not push myself and to never push other people further than what they are able to go. What is available for their body at that time is what we will do. Because this is Rose Temple, we're going to leave the room for the sacred. A lot of spiritual reflection. We're going to look at the divine feminine. We're going to look at how this is connected to goddesses and priestesses. And all of this is at the heart of the Rose Temple. Now, I'm going to offer 2 pathways through training. I recognize that not everyone is called to yoga teacher training wants to teach. I did not. I wanted to do the spiritual and personal enrichment pathway. And that's where you study yoga deeply without becoming a professional teacher. You may want to understand yoga philosophy, develop a personal practice, reconnect with your body. The other one is a personal teaching pathways to complete the requirements to teach yoga. But this is what I find. 99% of the people who start out with the personal and spiritual enrichment path gains the confidence to continue with the professional teaching pathway. You can do both. Actually, you're really doing both. You don't have to know which one you want to start out with, but I will promise you that as you're sitting in that classroom in the teacher training, your teacher aspect identity will come out. Your spiritual accountability, your spiritual pathway will rise up. And so that's why I offer 2 is to make it gentle, to open the door. But once you step in and begin, it becomes one. The very first Rose Temple 200-hour inclusive yoga teacher training is going to begin January 2027 and go through November 2027. You're going to attend in person at Cosmic Connections or participate through Zoom if you can't attend in person. There are going to be some live Zoom lectures throughout the week, and the gatherings are required, but they will be recorded as well. There's independent study, reading, reflection, observation, personal practice, and teaching assignments. We are accredited through the American Yoga Council, and we're awaiting a decision regarding Yoga Alliance's accreditation. Early enrollment is $2,500 through November 30th. And after that date, tuition's going to go up to $3,000. So I encourage you to take advantage of this early bird special. There is a $250 non-refundable deposit that reserves your place, and that is applied towards your tuition. So example, if you put down your $250 non-refundable deposit before November 30th, you still owe $2,250 rather than $2,500. And I will make monthly pay-as-you-go payment plans. You just have to reach out to me. Books and supplies and props and all of that are not included. However, you do receive an online class with a lot of the information as well as my 4 manuals that I've written. The books that are more important are the anatomy books. There are others that I suggest, but definitely the anatomy books because I prefer to rely on the experts for that. Class size is going to be limited. I already have 4 signed up, possibly 5, and I would like for it to be less than 10 because I want to know how to bring this training to you as an individual. So If you've ever thought about becoming a yoga teacher, but created a list of reasons of why you couldn't, I understand. I did. Maybe you feel like you're too old or not flexible enough. You have health concerns, or maybe you're afraid you'll be the least experienced person in the room. And I can guarantee you, you're not. Maybe you don't want to teach, but something longs for you to study yoga beyond the poses. I'm not going to promise that this teacher training is going to be easy because it's not. It asks us to study and practice and reflect, and sometimes meets parts of ourselves that we've avoided. But I can promise you that you will not be asked to prove your worth by forcing your body to become something it's not and move into something it's not. You're going to be invited to learn your body, honor its wisdom, explore its possibilities, and recognize that adaptation is not failure. Rose Temple Yoga School exists because someone once told me that my body meant that I could not become a yoga teacher. And Rose Temple's my answer. It's my answer to that yoga belongs to the older woman and to the plus size woman, the one that's in the chair, the one that likes to practice from a bed. And yoga belongs to everybody. So if you feel something is stirring as you listen to this, maybe you're nervous, maybe you're anxious, or maybe you want more answers, but you don't want to make the final decision today. All you have to do is just request more information. You can visit the Rose Temple Yoga Teacher Training page to learn about the curriculum and the two pathways, the hybrid format, and all that at bertina.org. And then just click on the Rose Temple Yoga Teacher Training. You can also email me, Bertina, Bertena, at bertina.org. And I'll be glad to talk with you. I'll be glad to meet with you. This is a huge investment, but I will promise you that your body does belong in yoga. Your wisdom and your experience belongs in the room. And I'm opening the door for people who are usually overlooked to join me in the sanctuary. So until next time, I want you to honor your body, trust your path, and remember that you do not have to become someone else before you're worthy of beginning. I hope that you have a wonderful day. And please, I encourage you to reach out to me if you have any questions. There's no commitment. I just may have an answer for you for a different path. I'm here to talk. Look forward to listening to you, to meeting you, and to seeing you where you are. Have a good day.